Hello everyone. This video is going to be a little bit different than my usual. Alright, Dobie wants to show off his sweater really quick. Here you go. Look at, he's got a little turtleneck. Look right here. Oh, there you go, pretty boy. I am going to be tier ranking all of the books that have made me cry this year. So it is early December right now, and I have read like 93 books, I think, and my goal is 100, but if I don't make it there, that's totally fine. I only have a few weeks left, but I've cried. I am an emotional person when it comes to books. I cry very easily, whether that's like just tearing up a little bit or full on like bawling my eyes out. I brought you guys a little bit closer, but I do have the tier ranking screen, so I will be putting that somewhere on here so you guys can see, and I will explain my tier ranking system right now. Okay, so we are going to start off with telling you guys what my categories are, and I even have an example book to show you guys so you guys kind of understand what I'm going with. So the first category, as you can see, is Send Me to Therapy, because that book actually ruined my life, or I will never recover from it, or the mourning period of that book was a really long time after I read it. So the next category is My Life is Ruined, But I'll Live. Like, I might be in a mourning stage after, but I'll be okay. Then we have Ouch, But Aw, like, ow, that hurt my heart, but that was kind of sweet. Then we have Happy Tears, so this book didn't necessarily make me sad or upset, but like I teared up, or I was just like, wow, that's really heartfelt. And then Literal Chills is the next one. So sometimes in a book, there's a particular scene that I'm like actually getting chills over, and it brings tears to my eyes. And then the last one is like, why am I even crying? But like, I cried, you know? Okay, all right. So my example is Marley and Me, because I read this book, I don't remember when it came out, but I read it when I was definitely in elementary or middle school. I was really young, and it was the first movie I cried during, but I did read the book. But I think like I was too young to kind of understand what I was reading and like understand that it was a sad book. But I did cry during the movie. So I would say like this one is My Life is Ruined, But I'll Live. But like, wow, that book was really sad, but also I'm still here. I'm still alive after that book. Okay, so that's my example. We are going to get into the books. I've read plenty of books this year, and it doesn't take a lot for me to make me cry. Some books that I have read probably aren't on this list, but maybe it was just a little scene that made me tear up or something. So November 9, I have a few Colleen Hoover books on here, I think, maybe just 2. Now, I'm not going to give away any spoilers in this video, so when I do mention a book, I might mention a scene or a part of the book, but I won't tell exactly what that scene is. If you do want to find out why I cried during these books, I suggest reading them. So these are some good recommendations. Now, November 9 by Colleen Hoover did make me cry. At the end, there was 2 or 3 particular parts that if you've read it, you know what it is. But I very gullible when it comes to plot twists. I fell for the plot twist on this one, and I was like, what? Wow. And I bawled my eyes out. I remember crying in my office at the gym. I was actually crying my eyes out. Maybe like My Life is Ruined, But I'll Live, because the end did surprise me, like I said. So I was like, no, like I was so upset with that ending, but in a good way, because I was still like happy with the ending. I don't know, you've got to read it to know what I'm talking about. Shadow in the Ember. Okay, y'all are gonna laugh at me, but there was a particular part where it was more like, I was like, yes, finally, like this makes me feel so good. It wasn't a sad moment or anything like that. It was just like, yay, like it's happening. So this one, I would say Literal Chills, because I was very happy when something happened. I'm pretty sure it was like halfway through the book. Yeah, so look, my blue tabs are parts that I cried at, and this one is on it's chapter 20, okay? I don't know why did I cry on this? Oh yeah, I remember that part. Okay, chapter 20, I cried. Okay. Red, White, and Royal Blue. I cried during this because I said this in my last video. I read this book last month, and I said this in my November wrap up, but I didn't enjoy the first 20% of this book, and then once Henry and Alex kind of got together, that's when I was like, yes, I can totally root for this relationship now, because they're like spending time together and everything. And there were, I don't want to pull it out right now, but I think I have like 3 or 4 tabs, blue tabs in there, because it just made me feel so good. Like, it was like, oh my God, my heart is hurting right now. Oh, there you go. I think it would go in ouch, but aw. Like, my heart feels so squeezed and hugged, but like so sweet, like in a good way, okay? And I wouldn't put it in happy tears, because there were some parts that I did cry during that where I was like, oh, this is kind of sad, you know? So like, ouch, but aw. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I did cry during this, but I think it was more out of shock, literal chills. I was not expecting that twist at the end, and I was like, no. Like, actually shocked. Maybe? Yeah, no, I was shocked. I have a reading vlog on this, okay? Go watch my reading vlog on Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo so you can see my reaction. I cried multiple times during that book for different reasons, and I would say that they all were pretty much like OMG kind of moments, you know? Okay, I didn't read Harry Potter this year, so I don't even know why. I think I just got excited because I usually read Harry Potter around Christmas time, so right now I would love to reread Harry Potter, but I'm not going to. I'm not even sure why this one's in here, honestly, because I didn't read it this year, so I'm going to put it at the end for now. But I have cried during them. I think it's because it's Christmas time, and I was taking screenshots of all of these books and like saving them to my folders, and I just accidentally put that one in here, so ignore that. It Ends With Us. This book is so freaking popular. I'm not going to tell you why it made me upset or why I cried. People say it's a love triangle too. It is not a love triangle. It is not a love triangle. It is so the main character had a relationship back in high school, and she keeps comparing her current relationship with her old like high school relationship. There were some very unanticipated. I was mind blown by the back and forth and the throwbacks that Colleen Hoover did, and it made you feel so immersed in this story of these 3 people. I would say ouch, but because like it was kind of a shock. It was definitely like, I did get chills, so it could fit in literal chills also. It more like hurt my soul for one of the characters, but in the end I was still really happy with the outcome. Next we have A Man Called Ove. This one broke my heart, like actually broke my heart. I did lose a grandparent about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and when I read this I just thought of my grandpa the whole time. I would say send me to therapy. Like, actually send me to therapy. That book really hurt me when I read it, and I think it relates a lot to, like, anyone who's lost someone can kind of relate to Ove, the main character, and it's just a little upsetting. So I would say send me to therapy, because it did hit home for me. So I recommend reading it, though, if you're in for a good cry. The House in the Cerulean Sea. This one, absolutely happy tears. There's no doubt in my mind. Oh, it tore my heart up. I was crying in this book because of pure happiness. Like, this was the happiest book I read this year, 110%. I want to read TJ Klune's next book. What is it? The Whispering Door, or Under the Whispering Door or something. I really want to read that, but that would definitely be on my TBR for next year. Song of Achilles. I'm not going to say why I cried during that book either. There were a few parts that I cried at just because, well, I also have a reading vlog on that, so if you want to go watch me cry, go ahead. But I think I'm going to put it as My Life is Ruined, But I'll Live. There was a lot of hype around this book. So much hype around the Song of Achilles, and if you've read it, you know that there's a lot of hype around it because you've probably seen it everywhere. But the Song of Achilles definitely hurt, but it was not the story I was expecting. You were in Patroclus's mind a lot, and there was a lot of time jumps. It was different than what I thought, okay? But the ending did ruin me. After I finished that book, I did not think I could. I gave myself a day or two to not read anything else because I was like, I need to mourn a little bit. Okay, now you're looking at the next book, Crooked Kingdom, and you're like, what? Why did you cry? But if you've read it, you know why I cried, I think. It was a part with a character. That's all I'm gonna say. Honestly, I'm gonna say, why am I even crying? Because I didn't like Shadow and Bone, the trilogy. And then when I read this, I liked it, but I didn't love Six of Crows. Don't kill me. I liked it a lot, okay? Pretty sure I gave Crooked Kingdom 5 stars. Like, loved that duology. And I still want to continue with the world, like King of Scars and stuff. I have King of Scars. So I will continue loving the Grishaverse. But why did I cry? You know, why? Okay, Kingdom of Ash. I am a Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass / ACOTAR fan. I am, come at me, whatever. Throne of Glass, Kingdom of Ash, this book was the only Throne of Glass book, I think, that I cried during. And it was during this, let me grab it. Hold on, I think I tabbed it. Oh, no, okay, I cried 5 times. I thought I only cried like once. I read this back in April, I think, or March, I can't remember. I apparently cried a lot, and I do remember the one scene that I'm thinking of. Chapter 25, I do remember. This one in particular, this one scene was a triumphant one. Like, it was like, yes, finally. Like, this is what I wanted, this is what needed to happen, and I spent 231 pages waiting for this moment, you know? And then the rest, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember why I cried 4 more times. But if I reread the series, then I could figure it out. But I do remember that one moment because that was a very happy moment. Oh, I'm going to say literal chills because this book blew me away. So Throne of Glass, besides like Harry Potter and the Dark Fever series, this was one of the longest series I've ever read. So I was really invested in the characters, and I did get literal chills throughout this book. Like, I remember being so invested, and I'm pretty sure I finished this in like a day and a half, and it's like 1,000 pages. Like, I was so invested in that book in this series, so I would say literal chills for that one. Goodbye Days fucked me up. It was so sad. There was obviously a main sad part in the very beginning of the book. That's what the whole book is about, but the scenes after it, there were 2 or 3 times that I did end up tearing up. Not like bawling my eyes out, but tearing up during, and I would say they were happy tears. Obviously, it was a sad book, so it's not like I'm crying because I'm happy that the scenes happened, but because the main character had a lot of personal growth. I don't think it made a big imprint on me, but it was such a powerful book. It was a very good book. So I would say happy tears. The Love Hypothesis. Let me see. I read this one last month too. A lot of these I read in November because November was one of my best reading months. Go watch my TBR video. Yeah, I cried during one part. I don't remember why I cried, and I'm reading this part and I'm like, what is going on? Oh yeah, I remember this part. 308 is when I tabbed it because after 308, like 309, 10, and 11, like 12, this whole chapter, wow, gave me chills. I would say literal chills for this one also. That was the climax. Like, that was the part you were waiting for, and I was so happy it was happening, but also very sad for the main character. Actually, I'm gonna change this one. It's gonna go in, I don't know. I'm still gonna say literal chills because, like, I was so sad for the main character. A Little Life. I didn't even rate that book on Goodreads because it fucked me up so bad. Also did a reading vlog on it. There's footage in that vlog of me crying like a baby. The part that I read made me, like, actually sick. I read that. I remember the specific scene that I'm thinking of, the part that I actually recorded. I cried, like, the whole book, but I didn't record myself crying every time I cried, but I did record the main part, like, and I recorded it. Something happened to Jude in his adult life with another person, and that part broke me, and it was also at like 11 p.m. So when you're watching that video, it's a little dark in the room, it's a little blurry. Like, I was really emotional. And then I'm pretty sure that same video I started my period. So maybe, no, that book's fucking sad. I'm not gonna make any excuses of why I bawled my eyes out for that book. It sent me to therapy. ACOTAR, I'm gonna put in, why am I even crying? It's literally like a series full of porn, and I cried, okay? Not full of, because the first book doesn't even have anything, but still, like, why was I crying? But I love those books, but why was I crying? I don't know. I think I was just emotional. Some parts in that book, when we meet on vacation, I'm not even sure why I put that one in here, if I'm being honest. Actually, no, I know why. Yes, I do. I remember the part. It was towards the end, obviously. It's all, I mean, aren't all of the parts that you're supposed to be emotional at towards the end of a book? Yeah, so I'm gonna say why am I even crying? It was a cute cry. Like, I cried for good reason, I think, in that book, but also I don't think that book was like, its main goal wasn't meant to make me cry. So I don't know why I cried. And then A Walk to Remember. I read this like 2 months ago, and this one I've read 5 times since the age of 15. Like, I just love this book. It's also like 100 pages. Like, it's nothing. Actually, it's like 200 pages, but still, like, literally read it in a day. I'm gonna say, ouch, but aw. Like, obviously, that book is meant to make you cry. Like, Nicholas Sparks just wanted to put a tearjerker out there, and it did hurt my heart, still does, every single time I read it. And I think it's because, like I said earlier, I cry at fucking dog videos on Instagram when I'm watching reels and there's a sad song behind it. This book is sad. It's really sad. But I think it had a good message at the end, and it was a sweet book, so that's why it's like, oh, you know, the main character just grew so much. We have the Harry Potter at the end, which I don't think I meant to put in this. I haven't reread Harry Potter this year, so I'm gonna put that in why am I even crying? Because, like, it's not meant to make you cry. But there were some tearjerker parts in there, you know, like when more like triumphant tears where it's like you feel really good for the main characters. I don't think there's any like sad, like, oh my god, that was sad, you know? I don't really think there are. But that is my list. Those are all of the books, most of the books that I cried to during this year. Besides Marley and Me, I just wanted to put that one in there to give like a base level example, okay? That is it for this video. I will see you next week. You can hit the subscribe button and like this video. I hit 4,000 subscribers. I hit 4,000 actually today, like as I'm filming this, I hit 4,000 subscribers. I just want to say thank you to all of you. Your support means the world and it helps me out. Thank you so much. Goodreads, Instagram, Bookstagram, Amazon wishlist, everything is down below. Send me your favorite book if you want. Yeah, I will see you guys next week. Happy holidays. You know if any of these books made you cry. Or am I just like a ball of tears? Okay, bye.